fun fact alert. Astrology fun fact alert. I learned something new. Come here, I want to tell you. Sit down, sit down. So I was researching astrology this weekend because I should really take a break, but I'm obsessed and I can't. And I discovered something that typically a daughter's rising sign will be the sign of her father's son. And a son, S-O-N, a son, a little boy, will typically have the ascendant, the rising sign, as his mother's sun sign. So I'm a Sagittarius sun. Mr. Virgo is a Virgo sun. JL's a Virgo sun. Let's say him and I get pregnant and have a baby girl. She is likely to be a Virgo rising. Let's say we get pregnant and have a baby boy. He is likely to be a Sagittarius rising. So I think I was like using Google's AI mode when I discovered this. And, I'm always challenging AI. It's a wonderful tool, but I always, I challenge it, as I do everything. But I was like, all right, let me go through all the boys I know. I was like, holy shit, my brother is a Taurus, Aquarius ascendant. My mom's an Aquarius sun. And then I looked at my bonus boys. Our oldest is a Taurus Libra rising. His biological mother is a Libra sun. And then I looked at Mr. Virgo and I was like, well, he's a Cancer rising. His mom's a Leo. Oh my gosh, his little brother. Yes, Mr. Virgo is a little brother who is a Virgo Scorpio moon, just like him. That's another story. But he is a Leo rising and his birth mom is a Leo sun. Oh, now I don't really know too many little girls. I mean, I am a daughter, but my dad is a Libra sun. However, he is a Scorpio moon, just like me. So hence the Twin Moon Ranch name. Now you see it. But no, I'm not a Libra rising. I'm a Taurus rising, which means I'm ruled by Venus. Taurus and Libra share the ruler of Venus, so that's pretty close. And my youngest bonus boy is a Leo Taurus rising, which is a Venus-ruled ascendant, right? So I don't know. Just a little fun fact in astrology there. I can't tell you why, what it means. Maybe there's some, like they use the phrase like daddy's girl and mama's boy. It's like this weird thing where in your developmental years, a little girl needs her dad and a little boy really wants his mom kind of thing. I don't know. Again, I've never been a full-time biological parent, so take this with a grain of salt, but I am actively studying it, let's just say. I feel like a dad, and I can say this as someone who did not grow up with a male figure at all, just me, my mom, and my brother. She never remarried. Had some cool guys she dated. They were always fun. The Sagittarius guy was really cool. And I still really appreciate the Virgo guy. I credit him to helping me leave my marriage. Because he was right. Oh, you Virgos are always right. But I didn't grow up with one. And I always feel like, man, if I did, what would my life be like? I'm thankful for where I'm at. I think I'm in a really cool place. But I don't know. I definitely think my dating history wouldn't have been so regretful, so to speak. Definitely would have learned some discipline lessons there. Maybe by now I would have, a physical business or a different look. I don't know. And then I think the reason why little boys may have their mother's rising sign is because their mothers teach them to respect femininity, to respect women, to always be strong and logical, but lead with your heart, have emotion, have empathy. I don't know. What do you guys think? Please, you guys are seriously. I feel like it's such a compliment to my work how many extremely intelligent people we attract to the Astrology Lounge. I would love to hear your take. Astrology-lounge.com. Click on the intake form. Can you tell I've been doing readings all day? Click on Contact Us. Fill out the contact form. Let me know what you think. Guys, welcome to class. Class is back in session, but we are learning a new subject, the nodes of fate, collective fate, individual fate in the Placidus chart. They have officially switched signs on July 26th, so a few days ago. They switched permanently to the North Node moving into Aquarius and the South Node moving into Leo. What does that mean? What can we expect? We're going to talk about it today. Welcome to another episode of the Astrology Lounge. I'm your host, your friend, your astrologer, Stephanie Powers. One of my favorite things you guys say when you book readings and we meet on Zoom is you go, I hope it's not weird, but I feel like we know each other. We're friends, right? I'm like, no, we seriously are. I listen to podcasters. I have my docket of people I've listened to for 5-6 years. They are my friends. They just don't know it. They don't know me, but we're best friends. Where I adore them, and I have to remember, oh, wait. I always say this to Mr. Virgo. I'm like, wait, holy cow. People look at me the way I look at this podcaster. This is crazy. This is wild. So we are friends. Be sure to visit the website astrology-lounge.com to book one of those private readings with me, to join the moon playlists, to look at daily transits on the ticker on there, and to learn about how the Astrology Lounge gives back philanthropy. Hint, hint, it's pugs and animals. What else do we have on the website? How I feel about AI, the use of AI on the website. That's a new one you guys can go check out, or just read my bio. Check out, research me, see who you're taking information from, get to know me in the About Me section. Oh, and merchandise too. I'm about to buy myself new tank tops because I wear them every day, and then I need to buy more because I have to wash them so often from this Texas heat. Lots of good stuff there. So visit the show notes, check out the astrology flashcards. If you want to continue your astrology knowledge off the airwaves, we got lots of goodies for you. Goodies you can buy, but goodies for free. Everything's in the show notes. Visit the website. I love you guys. Let's talk about the nodes. When the nodes switch, I always look at it as the class switches. Like, what? Let's use the analogy of art class, because I'm thinking, what would my favorite class in high school be? Art. I did like gym. I loved getting to move my body. But I loved English. I was an English tutor. Fun fact, in high school, I was an English tutor. And I loved dance, and I was a DJ because I was obsessed with music. Did you guys ever go to like YMCA sporting events or football games? I DJ'd those. I was up behind the microphone and the speakers. I had a Stanton mixer and these Bose speakers. I would set it all up by myself at like 15 years old. Carry these giant, like 3-foot tall speakers. Had my subwoofer. I even had a fog machine. I was cool. And I had turntables too. It was a blast. That was me. And then I was an English tutor because I loved writing. I was always that person. I raised my hand when the teacher was like, who wants to read the next paragraph? Me. Steph, anybody else? Anybody have the answer to this? My hand would fly up. Me. I don't know. Maybe it's the Sagittarius. I loved school. I thought it was easy. But I hated history. Couldn't stand science. Chemistry, algebra, geometry. Well, geometry, not so bad. Nope, not my thing. Yeah, well, wait. When I went to business school, I was an economics tutor. Could I teach you anything about today? No. But I was really good back in the day. Oh, I got to add more to that. Oh, wait, I did. In my bio on the website, I added all the things I did, the extracurriculums. I volunteered with special needs kiddos, where we took them to like a summer camp on a lake in Vermont. That was super fun. Volunteering at nursing homes, always the best. The conversations you have with elders things money can't buy. No podcaster, no life coach, no social media post could ever give you when you just go talk to the elders at your local nursing home. Promise you that. But I loved the Outdoor Adventures Club that I participated in Las Vegas, where we took our Singapore students. Well, they're from all over Asia, but they were studying internationally here in the U.S., and they wanted to see the U.S. I always forget how lucky we are here to have such vast landscape. And so we took them hiking around horses, and oh my gosh, just hiking the mountains with them and stopping to have a picnic, and they loved taking selfies with us. And oh my gosh, I just love their energy. And then they would invite me over to have this big, like, Korean, Singapore type dinner, and it was so fun. So Sagittarius. I'm just really shining my sun in this, aren't I? But guys, we're in class together right now. We're back in session and we're learning a new subject from January 11th, 2025 until just recently, July 26th, 2026. We had the North Node of Fate and Destiny in Pisces and the South Node of, hey, we gotta kind of let this thing go in Virgo. I look at those. What do you guys think of Pisces and Virgo? I'm thinking it's like science, English, like Virgo is the science and math. Pisces is why? What's the bigger purpose of this? Pisces, you could say Pisces is art class. Like, we were moving from that type of energy to the North Node in Aquarius and the South Node in Leo. So we're moving towards Aquarius stuff and releasing some of Leo stuff. When I was looking at this, I wrote it down on paper and I'm like, why would I describe the energies of these? Moving from Pisces Virgo to Aquarius Leo. Pisces Virgo, I guess, would be like inside the school. You're learning art and then you go to science class. And then Aquarius Leo is like field day, where it's not a normal school day. You're so excited because you're watching a movie in science class instead of looking at the periodic table of elements. Is that what it's called? I don't even know. I hated chemistry class. That's the only class I got detention in because I threw a banana in the whatever the roof shingle shit was called. I just hated it. I'm such a brat. I was like, I don't like this. This is not who I am. And I was telling Mr. Virgo the other day, I used to always get in trouble. I was like, what did you always get in trouble for in school or like your first job? And he was like, I don't know. I never really did. I'm like, okay, Virgo. You're just so perfect everywhere. But I was like, I always got told, stop talking. You're talking too much. Steph, can you stop goofing around? Can you stop talking? Joke's on them. I talk for a living now. But this is why I love using astrology for kiddos. I say they come with an instruction manual. Look at this chart. This kiddo needs to really be focused on everything is science and building. Look at this chart. This kiddo loves relationships, English, the study of feeling emotions. They need to talk. They can't be forced to be quiet, sit, and learn algebra. They're not going to use it. It's written right here. Astrology. But I was looking at the North Node in Aquarius, the South Node in Leo as field day, where you have to work with your classmates in a potato sack race, or like you're just doing fun, goofy things, but it's for a collective purpose. It is to get school spirit. It is to realize even if we're walking past each other, ships the night down the hallway, we're all the class of 2007. So that's what we're going to dive into today. But I want to give you guys the scientific explanation first before I give you the symbolic interpretation, the astrology interpretation of what the North and South nodes are. So they're not actual planets or stars. When you see those little, I call them Lucky Charm, horseshoe symbols in your chart, those are not actual planets, stars. They are invisible mathematical points when you're born. So here's what's happening, how we pull the North and South node. And again, they're kind of, well, the school analogy is perfect. When you're in a grade, when I'm the class of 2007, the class of 2011, that is your North and South node. Many people that you are in a grade with share the same North and South node as you. So kind of generational there. So here's what's happening mathematically. Picture this, okay? I'm going to try my best. Again, science is not my strong point, but I'm going to try because I think it's important to incorporate both. The Earth is orbiting the sun, right? The Earth is orbiting the sun in that path. The moon is orbiting the Earth simultaneously, right? But because the moon's orbit has a slight tilt to it, it crosses the Earth's orbital plane in two different spots. So those crossing points are the nodes. The North node is where the moon crosses, moving from the south of its orbit back up to the north, the ascending node, the North node. And the South node is when that node crosses the north and it starts to go back down south, where it crosses from north to south, descending node. The best analogy I can give is grab two hula hoops, weave them together. Where they touch is the places where they intersect, that like the nodes is where they touch. So why do they move? They move about every year and a half. They'll switch signs. So the next time we'll have this conversation will be March of 2028. So they move through one zodiac sign every 18 months, but they complete one full trip. So you'll have your nodal return every about 18 to 19 years, 18 and a half falling in the middle of that. So because of that wobble, the nodes gradually drift backwards through the zodiac. That's why when we say they just switched from Pisces to Virgo into Aquarius and Leo, if you were to go look at an ephemeris and see the degree, it's 29 degrees Aquarius and 29 degrees Leo. They're moving opposite because of that wobble than the normal clockwise planets. So scientifically, the nodes are where solar and lunar eclipses happen. If the sun is close to one of those nodal points, think of the hula hoop analogy, then if it's close to a new moon, it's a solar eclipse. If it's close to a full moon, it's the lunar eclipse. Simply put, without those nodes, we don't have eclipses. So even astronomically speaking, these two invisible points are incredibly significant. Now let's layer on the symbolism, the astrology. Astrologers look at these things as representing a journey, like a compass. The North Node is where we're growing. It's where we're going, where we're growing. The North Node represents unfamiliar territory, our future growth, our soul's evolution. Lessons we learn, but we want to. The qualities our soul wants to develop. The North Node can be uncomfortable because it's new. I love to give the analogy, and I've said this for years, and I always will because we have lots of new people coming into the lounge. My North Node is in Pisces. My South Node is in Virgo. I just wrapped up my nodal return. When I was 18 years old, I went to a psychic fair with my mom because she's so cool, and she always went to those and took me with her. I loved it. It was amazing. But I sat with a woman who said, oh yeah, you're going to be, working in spirituality. I spit out my sugar-free Red Bull and cracked up and said, what? Lady, I was not baptized. I have an Aquarius mother who told me I hatched from an egg. I've never been to a church session. All my friends complained about going to Sunday school, and I said, haha, I'll be floating down a river with my mom having a good old time. Enjoy. I'll be in the real church. But she just looked at me like, oh, you young child. Joke's on me, because astrology, I think, could be layered with spirituality. In my South Node in Virgo, I had a job at a health insurance company. And from that, I transitioned into being a health coach, telling people to count their macros, go gluten-free, and test their TSH and thyroid autoimmune antibodies. Whoa. But now I'm so Pisces North Node, which is I have a career that involves invisible friends on the internet that has to do with spirituality. I mean, it's the most blatant description of leaving my Virgo South Node and stepping into my Pisces North Node. And how I transitioned was through the health coach sessions. I started to hit a wall. I started to get so frustrated when my clients would come in who were so healthy, so fit, so in shape, and they couldn't get pregnant because I was a thyroid hormones fertility coach. And I would have these perfect clients, and they did everything I told them to. Their diet was even better than I told them it had to be, and they could not conceive. And then I would see people who were very overweight, very depressed, smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol on their fourth pregnancy. And I was pulling my hair out with my Virgo South Node activated, going, this makes no sense. I know that this stuff works. I mean, I healed my own autoimmunity with a gluten-free diet and going fragrance-free with my laundry soap. What is happening? Until I decided to ask more emotional, spiritual questions, going, okay, hey, do you feel safe when you have sex with your partner? Like, honestly, like, you're married and I get it, but like, are you struggling to let go of a past betrayal with them or something like that? Like something invisible in it, and it would be like, yes. Well, I think that I've focused so much on like eating a healthy diet or so much on what my body looked like that I forgot to just let go. And then you guys know all the old wives' tales. People tell you, if you're trying to conceive, just stop forgetting it. Just book an IVF appointment. And then right before the appointment, you surprisingly get pregnant. Oh, you go get drunk and relax. Don't even think about it. You get pregnant. That I was like, what is going on here? I once had a client who had fake breasts because she was in a very toxic relationship with a man who would just control her and tell her, I don't think you're sexy unless your breasts look like this. You are ugly, she is pretty, look more like her. I know, it's so vile, the things I have heard, but there are people who act like this. And so she finally broke free from that relationship, and she said, the first thing I want to do is get these fake breasts out. And I said, yes. Of all of her health issues, I said, I really believe that, number one, leaving that relationship is going to clear up a lot, but go get those things out, girl. Get them out of your body. And so she did the very next week. This girl was not playing. She was an Aries. She got them out, and then we did a checkup a month later. Half of her skin issues, her jaw issues, all of these things, she was like, they're gone. She was like, no offense, but I don't really need to come see you anymore. And I was like, no, that's my goal, is for us to never meet again because you don't need me. But wow, the energetic weight of things was so the South Node in Virgo. I needed to release that and move into the Pisces stuff. So after those situations, I was like, okay, wait a second. There is a bigger force at play. I don't want to play in the micro details of their diet and their lifestyle. I want to go all the way. I want to go from the big picture, which is energetically, what's going on? What's going on in your life? Where are we not trusting our gut feelings? So I stepped into that North Node in Pisces. So collectively speaking, this was the lesson that all of us were trying to learn from January 2025 all the way until right now, July 26th, 2026. So symbolically, that North Node is where we're going. I always tell people in readings, the North Node is your soul's whisper. Like, please come here. Like, if you want to do something that you end up saying, wow, I would do this even if I didn't get paid, move towards your North Node. We all want to use our birth chart to say, what's my purpose? What's my thing? Move towards your North Node. What do I need to let go to get there? Your South Node. Imagine you're learning how to ride a bike. The North Node is you at 5 years old, getting on that bike, taking the training wheels off. You're wobbly. You fall. You feel awkward. You get embarrassed. You get scared. You don't want to knock your teeth out. But when you learn how to ride that bike and you have full control over it and you're unafraid of falling off because you know you'll get right back on, you officially entered your North Node. Now, the South Node is the opposite. As above, so below, baby. It's where we're comfortable. The South Node tells us our old habits, our old instincts inherited from family, old patterns, natural talents that we're good at, comfort zones. Some more esoteric astrologers will say that it is your past life, and it's been pretty accurate so far. It's easy because we've been there before. We incarnated and said, this is what I did in a past life. Can I do it in this one? And this one says, well, no, if you really want to evolve, move towards that North Node, but utilize the natural gifts of that South Node to reach that North Node. So yes and no. Some astrologers describe it as your past life energy, while most of us see it simply as deeply ingrained familiar ways of operating. But either way, the symbolism of the nodes is about what comes naturally and what can become limiting if we never grow beyond it. So for the past year and a half, humanity, the collective, has been learning the lesson of the North Node in Pisces. We were growing through faith, intuition, compassion, spirituality, surrender, flowing with life, while releasing the South Node in Virgo qualities, perfectionism, overthinking, excessive control, anxiety over the details, believing that everything has to be figured out first before you take action. The lesson was you don't have to control everything. Now trust in the unseen. The last time we had the eclipses, let's see, we had a Virgo eclipse in February of this year. And then when Charlie Kirk was assassinated last September, it was right in the middle of a Pisces Virgo eclipse portal, and that just shook people. And I remember a lot of people were reporting that even if they didn't follow him, didn't know him, and I think now we can definitely see that it's not about what his political beliefs were. It was the principle of it all. It was the bigger picture. That was such an interesting moment because a lot of people reported feeling such grief, like as if they knew him. It was so wild to see and witness people say, I never watched him. I just heard his name in passing, but I didn't know who he was. But I feel like I lost a brother. There was something very spiritual that event kicked off that I think is unraveling as we speak. It's very interesting. And if you ever follow the podcaster Candace Owens, she was close friends with him when they were first getting started in their field. And she mentions that he used to say things like he was going to die. He knew that his organization, Turning Point USA, was going to be the death of him. But he had always said that Candace would be his David. And I think that's a biblical term because they were both religious. They are both religious. Where he was saying, if I die, I need you to uncover what happened, what was going on. And I feel like when I die, it won't be in vain. It will bring the left and the right together for some reason. And I do believe that with the Barbo's basket we just had in July, I do believe we're on the brink. I'm really waiting to the end of August, too, to get that, for things to catch up to the 3D. I was going to make a whole episode about this, how we got through July. Like, as you listen to this, it is late July. And there's not really many large, massive world events going on, but I feel like it's an undercurrent that hasn't caught up to the 3D yet, that it's likely to be exposed. And I think it has something to do with AI. The physical manifestation is the data centers, obviously. Very hot topic, will continue to be into next year. But I'm telling you, I hope one of you guys goes through and compiles all of the 200,000 times I say this. There is something that is reading our mind that people have access to, that is reading our thoughts and influencing us. And this is another reason why I completely got off social media, because I felt that poison. I felt like I was wearing a blindfold and I was willingly grabbing the poison or like participating in it. And so I was like, it's still in the air. There's still something that we can't explain yet, that hasn't caught up to the 3D or isn't exposed yet, that I want to limit my connection to as much as possible. Don't know. I can't put my finger on it. But when I pull all the astrology, it's likely to be revealed. And I'm going to have like the biggest, I knew it moment of my life, maybe in the next year or two. I don't know. AI is going to just completely take over, both in a good way. Again, I love, you will read my AI section on the website. I love AI. I have a Tesla that drives me everywhere. I haven't driven a car in over a year, but there is nothing I love more than getting dirt under my nails on this ranch with the dogs, with my boys. It's best of both worlds. Feet on the ground, head in the stars. So now the lesson changes. When the nodes switch, we're staying in the same classroom, but it's like we just got back from Christmas break and we're back in the class, and now we're not learning biology. Now it's English. In the same desk, same chair, but you're learning a different subject. July 26th, 2026 to March 26th, 2028. The North Node of Fate is in Aquarius. The South Node is in Leo. It's very interesting that while this happens, Pluto is in Aquarius, Jupiter is in Leo. This is just background music of this turn is very significant. Very, very significant. The lessons are changing. North Node, we're moving into community, friendships, humanitarian thinking, authenticity, embracing the future and AI, but also being a little bit guarded with it, seeing the bigger picture. The North Node in Aquarius is saying, instead of what do I want, ask, how do we build something better together as a community, as a collective? Can the left and the right come together? Can we accept everyone? But of course, this is going to come with drama. Leo, this is going to come with some petty fights. This is going to come with some huge shift in leadership, because we need to be led. We also need to lead ourselves. One of my favorite podcasters, Andy Frisella, says the greatest act of rebellion right now is to be your best self, your healthiest self, your strongest self, most disciplined self. That theory applies so intensely to the North Node in Aquarius and South Node in Leo. South Node, what we're letting go, unhealthy Leo habits, needing validation, me, craving applause, making everything about ourselves, excessive pride, ego battles, needing to be the main character all the time. When I think of these two, I think of the great debate with pronouns. Okay, I know that this is pronouns and sexual preference have strangely become like the new abortion topic where it's like, ooh, don't bring that up or a fight's going to come. And I know by saying this, I am going to get some bad reviews and some people who say, I'm so disappointed in you. Okay, that's fine. Like, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. I think that that subject is going to come to a head. Again, I'm not distilling my own beliefs in this. I want to keep this a classroom. But with the North Node in Aquarius, it's saying, okay, the South Node in Leo is my ego is hurt if you don't refer to me as what I like to be referred to. I think so many people have been like, okay, like we're very accepting and open, and I understand that, but you can't get mad at me and make me feel like I did something wrong. If I looked at you and biologically saw this, but I got what you personally want yourself to be called wrong. I had a neighbor who was a man transitioning to be a woman, and his best friend since childhood. And these guys are like in their late 50s, okay? They're not dudes, they're old men. His best friend since childhood came over, and he was so fun. I think he was an Aries. Me and Mr. Virgo just loved hanging out with him every afternoon. We'd sit on the porch stoop and just talk shit. But he had been friends with his buddy who was transitioning, and just he couldn't stop saying, hey man, what do you want? It's she. And his friend would get so upset and be so rude towards him. And he would just tuck his tail and tell us like, man, I'm trying so hard. It's just, it's tough to switch. And I felt so bad for this guy because you could see his genuine love for his friend, but because he couldn't do that, his friend was being just so angry towards him, and what I saw was pure projection. I didn't see real love. I saw projection. I saw someone who was so hurt from probably feeling so confused and not seen that they were projecting it onto their own best friend since childhood. And I think that is only just one subject that will be highlighted during this. AI data centers, political sides, Republican, Democrat. We're going to see those really mesh and mold together to realize it's always been us against something. If we want to use the school analogy, imagine we are all in art class. Let's just use art class. The North Node in Pisces with the South Node in Virgo. This was the teacher telling us, hey, stop worrying about making every brush stroke and color palette perfect. Just enjoy being creative. Get messy, have fun. We're not in competition. Don't be insecure if your partner is a Pisces and they're really good and, well, you're not so artistically inclined. Creativity is just creativity. That is Pisces Virgo. But now we're back from break and the teacher's walking in with a completely different mindset, a different assignment for us as the students. The North and South Node in Aquarius and Leo are the teachers saying, okay, everyone, put your paintings together and build one giant mural. Here is the mural, the giant finished puzzle that together as a class of 24, we are going to each be assigned one square and we're going to put them together to make one landscape photo, right? Some kids may say, but my painting should be in the middle. But what about me? How dare you assume I want to use those colors? I don't. And the teacher's like, okay, I understand. But this is a group assignment. And together as one big collective, we're going to do this assignment right now. We'll go back to individuality, making sure you are seen and celebrated for who you are. But first, we need to remember who we are as a species. That is Aquarius and Leo. Pisces, Virgo, South Node and North Node asked us to stop trying to control every detail. Just trust the flow of life. A lot of people went back to spirituality or religion. They moved towards that Pisces North Node. A lot of people stepped back into tarot, oracle, church, God, explored religions, took sabbaticals, redefined how they view spirituality or religion. Aquarius and Leo now asks us to shift from seeking individual recognition, unhealthy Leo, and move toward contributing our unique gifts to something larger than ourselves. Right? Healthy Leo qualities that we need to release to move forward to: warmth, generosity, creativity, the heartfelt self-expression, being so confident in who you are that you don't need external validation. And not only do you not need external validation to validate who you know you already know who you are. And you realize that to fight over who you are with external people is actually a freaking luxury. It is a luxury amenity. And I hope it's nothing too serious, like a natural disaster of some sort that forces us to come together. Like God's not like, man, I tried to give you guys a chance to take the easy route, but you're not. So here's an asteroid. I don't know. But something that brings us together and realizes who we prefer to have sex with doesn't matter. How are we eating tomorrow? That type of thing. What we're known as. Are we famous on the internet? What do we do for... That doesn't matter. Can you go find us a water source? Because there's a lot of people going without. That's what I think the North Node and South Node in Leo are moving towards. Now, last thing about this is that interesting layer of Pluto already in Aquarius, Jupiter just entered Leo for the next year. This is a striking backdrop to this transition. Pluto intensifies the themes of the collective transformation and the systems that govern the collective. We are looking at the democracy. And Jupiter amplifies creativity, confidence, and, well, ego. So on one side of the coin, this is definitely a battle. It is like this first year, so now until next August, when Jupiter will eventually move into Virgo, and bless all of the Virgo South Node release we had to do since January 2025. But this could be people like, I'm not going down with the fight. And it's like, come on, like release the ego and step into the group. It's so funny that the vast majority of people already think this way. They are just so afraid of the unhealthy Leo expression in the world right now. I don't want to be called racist. I don't want to be called a bigot. I don't want to be called this or that. But they know what's right and wrong. They just don't want to say it because it's not politically correct, or because they don't want to risk being called sexist or anything like that. This shift into the North Node in Aquarius and South Node in Leo is going to say, no more of that, guys. Like, there's a very serious problem undercurrent. It's like, I said this to a client the other day. She was like, yes, that's exactly how I think. Everybody is fighting for the same thing right now, just with different weapons. And we're fighting each other with different weapons, not realizing that we should be coming together to fight something completely separate from what we think we're fighting for. Something completely separate. We do not need to be fighting each other. People are fighting, like, whenever some people say, I don't like that group or that political group because this, and then I go talk to that group and they say, I don't like this because that. I'm like, wow, do you guys realize you literally want the same exact thing? You're just expressing it differently. Wow, this is very hypocritical, but beautiful to see. It's hypocritical, but from the ego side, from the disempowered Leo side, but it is also so incredible because I see potential. I see, wait, if we can unravel the knots keeping y'all separate, we could really move into some serious North Node and Aquarius group projects. The mural, the collective comes together. When we join forces, when we join our passions and our love for the things we love, the people we love, oh my gosh, we could literally utilize AI and technology to have a true utopia on this beautiful, incredible planet. That's all I got for you guys. If you guys want to look at where the North and the South Node are hitting on your chart, we have eclipse season coming up. August 12th, we will have a beautiful Leo new moon eclipse at 20 degrees. If you have anything around the 20th degree of Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, or Aquarius, come see me. Astrology-Lounge to book a private reading with me. Until then, I will see you guys on the next podcast episode. I love being in this classroom with you. Sending love from Twin Moon Ranch. See you next time. Bye.